Darren Aronofsky, in his film, The Whale, takes the audience on a heart-rending emotional journey that centers around Charlie, a 600-pound weighing obese English teacher on the brink of death due to congestive heart failure. Charlie is desperate to reconnect with his estranged daughter Ellie, whom he walked out on 8 years ago. Charlie hatches a plan to lure her into meeting him by offering to help her with her essays. As Charlie and Ellie spend a week together, Charlie imparts crucial life lessons on honesty and optimism, and Ellie's outlook on life begins to change. The Whale is a moving masterpiece that reminds us of the transformative power of honesty and the importance of reconciliation. The Whale, written by Samuel D. Hunter, is not only an outstanding play that earned accolades on Broadway but also a film that showcases the talent of Darren Aronofsky, one of the most remarkable directors of our time. The screenplay is infused with subtext, emotional depth, and a hint of divine intervention that can be felt in the climax of the film. Like every other film by Aronofsky, The Whale is also a complicated film, and the understanding of it is subjective to the audience. The characters in the story possess qualities that are both tragic and deep, making them multidimensional and interesting to watch. These characters come from a prejudiced background that forces them to make questionable decisions that add a layer of complexity to the story. As the writer of both the play and the screenplay, Samuel D. Hunter has created a world that is rich in emotional value, human connections, and a sense of hope that shines through even in the darkest moments. The Whale is a remarkable piece of cinema that will stay with you long after the final credits roll. Samuel Hunter's story is a showpiece of character exploration and intricate storytelling, weaving together a complex web of relationships and experiences that lend greater meaning to the narrative. It is the detailed backstories of each character that truly captivate and enthrall the audience. Charlie, for instance, who was once married to Mary with a young daughter, found himself swept up in a forbidden love affair with his student, Alan. Despite the consequences, he abandoned his family to start a new life with Alan, a New Life Church missionary whose sexuality was rejected by his own parents and the church he devoted himself to. Tragically, Alan's body was found bloated under a bridge, leaving Charlie to cope with his grief and guilt through compulsive overeating. He firmly believed that Alan's death was not a suicide, but rather the result of the disownment by people who were supposed to care for him. Charlie paid a heavy price for his honesty, both in terms of his own mental health and the consequences of his actions. But in the end, he found the courage to reach out to his long-lost daughter, Ellie, as he faced his own mortality. The intricate web of conflict that runs through the lives of the characters in the film is a true testament to the writer's genius. Samuel Hunter has very cleverly connected the conflict of one character with that of another. The central conflict of Charlie's life is the decision to leave his only daughter behind in pursuit of a new life with Alan that haunts him until the end. It is a decision that has shaped not only his own life, but also that of his daughter, Ellie, whose life is defined by the trauma of her father's abandonment. It turned her into a pessimistic personality where she believed everyone in the world is a bad person. Ellie's life was like a blank sheet of paper as she was still looking for approval. As the two run on parallel tracks through time, with Charlie approaching the finish line of his life and Ellie just beginning hers, Charlie is determined to use his experience to guide his daughter away from the mistakes he made. For Charlie, honesty is the key, and he believes that by instilling this virtue in Ellie at a young age, he can help her avoid the same pitfalls that he fell into. He sees signs of this honesty in her, such as in her 8-year-old essay on Moby Dick, which gave him hope that she had the potential to be a caring person. When she reveals to Thomas's parents about his hypocrisy that eventually led Thomas reconnect with his parents, it confirms Charlie's belief in her and reinforces his determination to guide her toward a better life. Thomas's life and Alan's life were like two trains running on parallel tracks, moving in the same direction but with vastly different experiences on board. They were both missionaries at the New Life Church, but that was where the similarities ended. Alan had been cast out by his own parents, disowned for loving someone that they did not approve of. It was a wound that he carried with him always, a heavy burden that weighed him down. Thomas, on the other hand, had been forced into the church by his own parents, who had disowned him due to his addiction to drugs. It was a desperate attempt to save him from himself. Despite his good intentions, Thomas had become a homophobic, unable to accept people who were different from him. It was only through the efforts of Ellie that he was able to reunite with his parents once again. Her kindness and honesty broke down the walls that Thomas had built around himself, allowing him to see the error of his ways and to embrace love in all its forms. For Alan and Charlie, however, the damage had already been done. Alan's death had created a void in their lives that they could never fill, a wound that time could not heal. Charlie knew that if he could have somehow convinced Alan's parents to accept their relationship, Alan would still be alive. It was a tragedy that he carried with him always, a weight that he could never shake. And yet, in Ellie, he saw a glimmer of hope. He believed that she was the one who could break the cycle, who could change the history that seemed destined to repeat itself. Her honesty and compassion were a beacon of light in a world that often seemed dark and cruel. Samuel Hunter had crafted a masterful story, using these four characters to juxtapose two different aspects of life. On one track, the honesty that led to tragedy and heartbreak. On the other, the honesty that led to redemption and reconciliation. So to summarize the situation, the lives of two sets of characters, Charlie and Ellie, Thomas and Alan, run on two sets of parallel tracks, have similar loop of conflicts. The only silver lining in the situation is Charlie, who can break the loop. In the world of storytelling, symbols hold immense power. They can speak to us on a deeper level and help us understand complex themes and ideas. Samuel D. Hunter's play, which caught the eye of the director, is no exception. The play's central character, Charlie, is seen by Hunter as a godlike figure, and the film's characters and symbols beautifully reflect this theme. As the film unfolds, we are introduced to two contrasting characters, Ellie and Thomas, who symbolize the two fundamental elements of the universe, light and darkness. Ellie, at first, is a dark character, filled with hatred and disdain for those around her. She posts unethical things on Facebook and mocks her overweight father. Her own mother considers her to be evil. Thomas, on the other hand, is a missionary of the church who believes in helping people and spreading love. But as the story progresses, the characters' true natures begin to reveal themselves. Ellie, who was once filled with darkness, begins to develop empathy and a caring nature. She helps Thomas reunite with his parents, showing that she is capable of great kindness and love. Meanwhile, Thomas is revealed to be a drug addict who stole money from the church and believes that homosexuality is a sin against God's will. The film's climax comes as Ellie opens the door, and a bright light flashes through it, symbolizing the transformation from darkness to light. It is a moment of epiphany and realization that her former evil self has turned into something beautiful and pure. On the other hand, Thomas has gone back to his old ways and is never to return, symbolizing the eradication of darkness and evil disguised as religion from the world. These powerful symbols in the film justify Samuel Hunter's view of Charlie as a godlike character. Just like God, Charlie's divine intervention leads the world towards a new light. The film's portrayal of the characters and the use of symbols help us understand that, no matter how dark a person may seem, there is always the potential for transformation and redemption. And in this story, it is the light of love that triumphs over the darkness of hatred and sin. Darren Aronofsky expertly utilizes various cinematic techniques to enhance the audience's understanding of the characters' struggles. In particular, His use of a confined space and a narrow aspect ratio serves to reinforce the themes of isolation and claustrophobia. Through Charlie's cramped and cluttered apartment, Aronofsky creates a visual representation of the character's mental state. As Charlie struggles to escape the confines of his past, the claustrophobic space serves as a constant reminder of his limitations. By restricting Charlie's movements, the director underscores his sense of isolation from the outside world. Additionally, Aronofsky's decision to use a 4:3 aspect ratio further enhances the sense of confinement and claustrophobia. By limiting the width of the frame, the audience feels boxed in and trapped along with the characters. This effect is especially powerful during scenes where characters are experiencing intense emotions or engaging in self-destructive behavior, as the narrow frame heightens the sense of tension and desperation. Overall, Aronofsky's use of symbolic imagery and cinematic techniques adds depth and complexity to the film. By creating a visual language that speaks to the character's psychological states, the director invites the audience to engage with the film on a deeper level and to explore the themes of addiction, isolation, and despair. The pizza delivery boy, Dan, in the film serves as a powerful reminder of the prejudices that plague our society. Though he only appears briefly in the film, Dan's impact on the story is profound. Through Dan, we see the societal stigma that obese individuals like Charlie face every day. Despite his kind nature and willingness to help before seeing Charlie, Dan is unable to overcome his revulsion at the sight of him on his wheelchair. His reaction is a painful reminder of how the world often views individuals who don't fit the narrow standards of beauty and acceptability. But Dan's character also serves a deeper purpose. His fleeting appearance in the film brings out the transformative journey of Ellie, who is initially dismissive of Charlie's struggles. Through Dan's brief encounter with Charlie, the writer has distinguished Ellie from the rest of the world. Over the course of the film, we see her slowly shed her callousness and develop a deep empathy for Charlie and his plight. Dan's character acts as a catalyst for Ellie's character transition. Darren Aronofsky is widely regarded as one of the most talented and innovative directors in cinema today. Over the course of his career, he has distinguished himself as a visionary artist with a unique voice and style. One of Aronofsky's greatest talents is his ability to tell complex, challenging stories in a way that is both emotionally resonant and visually striking. He is a master of symbolism, metaphor, and surrealism, and he has a talent for incorporating these elements into his films in a way that feels organic and deeply affecting. Aronofsky is also known for his ability to elicit powerful, nuanced performances from his actors. He has worked with some of the most talented actors in the business, including Ellen Burstyn, Natalie Portman, and Jennifer Lawrence, and he has a gift for bringing out the best in his cast. In addition to his directorial talents, Aronofsky is also a gifted writer and producer. He often writes or co-writes the scripts for his films, and he has a talent for crafting complex, multi-layered narratives that keep audiences engaged and intrigued. Perhaps most importantly, Aronofsky is a fearless artist who is unafraid to take risks and push boundaries. He has tackled challenging subject matter throughout his career, exploring themes of addiction, obsession, and the darker aspects of human nature. He has also experimented with unconventional storytelling techniques, such as nonlinear narratives and avant-garde visual styles. Overall, Darren Aronofsky is a uniquely talented artist whose work has left an indelible mark on cinema. His willingness to take risks and push boundaries has earned him critical acclaim and a devoted fanbase, and he remains one of the most innovative and exciting filmmakers working today. Thank you for watching our review, and we hope you enjoyed our analysis of this powerful and thought-provoking film. Let us know your perception of the film in the comments and which other films you would like to see us review in the future. And don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe button to show your support and encourage us to make more great content like this. We appreciate your feedback and look forward to hearing your thoughts on this and other films. Until next time, happy viewing!